Welcome to Vintage Variety. This week I will be showing you part 2 of my trip to the antique mall. In case you missed part 1, I'll put a link to it in the description box below this video. There were a lot of great finds at this antique mall. I purchased quite a few pieces of signed vintage jewelry at very reasonable prices. Stay tuned till the end of the content because one of the items that I managed to find will probably surprise you as much as it did me. This booth has a little bit of everything in it. I love this. I don't know how to play, but I think that violins are just so beautiful. This vintage nightgown is absolutely adorable. Some more items, and I have spotted some jewelry over in the corner. We're going to step over here and have a closer look, see if there's anything that catches my eye. Nothing I'm interested in. There's a lot of items on this. There's some Napier earrings, some vintage pieces. Those are nice. They also have some nice brooches. So now we're looking in some of the cases, and I've noticed a trend in this antique mall that all of the items in the cases are way more expensive, and some of them aren't worth anywhere near the prices that they're asking, and then again some of them are well worth it. This is just an assortment of pocket items is what I would call it. Tie tacks, hat pins, things like that. Nothing in here that really catches my eye. Some more jewelry. I see a brooch, or perhaps it's a dress clip in the back that was most likely made by New England Glass Co. This booth has some very old kitchen items, including some enamelware, and I spotted something down here below that's quite interesting, a chamber pot. I think I'll pass on this. And this is one beautiful chunk of furniture. Definitely my style, not that I can afford it. I also don't think that I would put Mr. Peanut next to it. It deserves its own space. So we've seen about everything. This is the last of it. This area has vintage and antique furniture. My friend has found herself a couple of treasures. One is this vintage lady's head. She already owns a couple of these. And the other is this beautiful plate. You can see it's marked on the back, and it has 22 karat gold on the trim. Now I'm going to show you guys the remaining items that I purchased at this antique mall. I ask that you look over the condition of my nails. You will see that they have white paint on them. I've been painting one of the rooms in my house, and boy has it been a chore. Because I showed so many brooches in part 1, I'm going to start out this content with necklaces. I chose this necklace because I thought it was absolutely beautiful, and I love the cloisonné bead. This necklace is done with glass beads. There are the clear glass beads, and then it's accented with these black beads and the larger cloisonné beads. I like this kind of bead. I've heard these beads referred to in a lot of different ways. I've heard them referred to as cloisonné, as I'm calling them in this content. I've also heard them referred to as Japanese florals. I've often run across this type of necklace done in plastic beads, where the cloisonné bead would be a simple plastic bead with a decal and a clear coat on it. But this one is good quality, and the bead is actually hand painted. This is a relatively long necklace, and it does not have a closure on it. I'm going to put it on the form so you guys can see what it looks like. This necklace can be worn long as a single strand, but I've doubled it up on the form so you guys can get a better view of it. If I were going to wear it, I think I would wear it this way. Let me know what you think in the comments. I also purchased this necklace, and it is also done with glass beads. This necklace is quite long, probably about 20 inches, and this necklace is also signed. Many of you will recognize the brand of this necklace just by the closure, but just in case, I'm going to zoom in so you guys can see that this is a JCrew necklace. I love JCrew jewelry. They have some beautiful pieces, and they're always very well made. Let's have a look at this one on the form. Because it's so long, I have doubled it up so you guys can get a better look at it. Look how pretty this is. I really like the way this piece is designed. Now I'm going to show you some more brooches that I purchased at this antique mall, starting with this one. This little gold tone brooch is relatively simple. It's not overly large, but I love the bow design of it, and I also like how it looks like a basket weave. This piece is unsigned. No complaints from me. I think this is a beautiful little unsigned beauty, and I did find many signed pieces at this antique mall. Also decided to purchase this vintage airplane brooch. As you can see, this brooch does have some damage to it. There are some missing rhinestones, some dull rhinestones, and it could certainly use a good cleaning. I'll have to make some repairs to this brooch, but I feel like it's worth it. This brooch is also unsigned, and you can see by the construction on the back of it, it has open backs, and the rhinestones in this brooch are full backed stones. I also purchased a couple of pairs of earrings. I really liked these. These are hoops. These have the type of construction where all of the beads have been wired on. Haskell was very well known for doing that, but I do not think that these are Haskell. These are glass beads, and I feel like these have a very nautical look to them. These would look gorgeous with a string of white beads, and perhaps even one of those brooches that looks like a ship's anchor. I'm going to put these on my earring stand so you guys can get a better look at them. These are clip-on earrings, and I know that many people don't like to wear clip-ons. Clip-on earrings can be converted into post earrings. I don't really like to do that, especially if the earrings are signed, because usually when a pair of clip-on earrings are signed, they're going to be signed on the actual clip, either on the outside of the clip or on the inside of the clip. So I don't recommend that, but to each his own. And I personally don't mind wearing clip-on earrings, especially if they're like these and they have the pads on them. I feel like they can be quite comfortable. Now for the last item, and I am so excited to be sharing this with you guys. I have got to tell you guys the story behind me purchasing this and what a pleasant surprise it was for me, and I believe it will also be a surprise for you guys. If you watched part 1 of my antique mall video, you'll know that this antique mall had quite a few different booths with baskets of jewelry. Well, this came out of one of those baskets, and when I first saw it, the first thought that went through my mind was Miriam Haskell. Then I had to remind myself that there were a lot of different designers and jewelry makers that used these filigree components, and not just in Miriam Haskell's era. There were pieces that were done that came out of Czechoslovakia. There were Western Germany pieces. There were even some pieces done that came out of Japan. I happen to own at least one piece that I can think of. And of course, there were later designers that also used the filigree components. So I did think that perhaps they were Western Germany. I laid them back in the basket, so I kind of hesitated about getting these, and then I picked them up again and decided I would just go ahead and purchase these. They were a fairly decent price, so why not? I could have opened the bag and looked at them to see if they were signed, but I didn't bother to do that because that vendor, as you can see by this bag, they had the bags taped, and they had probably done that for a reason, mainly to keep the pieces from getting scattered down in the basket or the bin, and I certainly don't blame them for that. So out of respect, I didn't want to rip the bag open to see if these earrings were signed. I'm going to open this up so you guys can have a better view. I had been home probably for about an hour or so, and these earrings just kept popping in my head. So I decided I was going to go and open up the bag and have a closer look at them. And guess what, guys? They are Miriam Haskell earrings. There's the Haskell mark on the back of it. To say that I was stunned is an understatement, because usually when I've ran across pieces of Haskell, they've had a very hefty price tag on them. You can see that these are the screw-on or clip-on backs, and there is the Miriam Haskell marking, and it also has a patent number. The first number on the patent mark is rather faded. It's not very clear. Either that or it's just very dirty. That said, these do need a very good soak and a thorough cleaning. You can see that there's some verdigris right there. That's something that I'm going to have to get off of these earrings as soon as possible. This is the other earring, and you can see that it's missing some of its beads. It only has 2 strands of beads instead of 3, but this one is also signed, the same as the other one is. Needless to say, I am very happy that I decided to go ahead and purchase these. You can see on this one, it also has some verdigris, so certainly gonna have to clean these, and as soon as possible. I am disappointed that it's missing one of the strands of beads here on this earring. I highly doubt that I could find the right size and shape of beads to repair these. I feel like the best solution would be to remove the center dangle on this earring, and then to shorten the center dangle on the other earring and put it to the side. That way it would have a dangle on each side, and it would keep these earrings as close to looking original as possible. If you think that's a good idea, please let me know in the comments. What would you do? Would you leave them as they are, or would you remove one of the dangles? I'm also going to clean these, and I will insert some before and after photos for you guys to see how they look after they've been thoroughly cleaned. As you can see from the before and after photos that I've posted here, these earrings cleaned up beautifully. By the way, the patent number on this earring is for the actual clip mechanism, and that was filed at the U.S. Patent Office in 1965. I want to thank you for taking time out of your day to share these items with me. If you haven't already, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and ring the bell for notifications on more content about collecting vintage and antique items. Thank you again for watching, and I hope you all have a wonderful day.